Hi guys, I'm Anna and this is an Alignment Yoga Challenge 4th week active class. Today we're going to consolidate all of the poses we've learned so far and the knowledge about them. So as you can see, this is like our small milestone class and I'm really excited that we've got so far. I'll be reminding you about our three principles that we've learned previously so that it sits well in your body and in your mind. So let's begin. Take your hands to pray at your heart center, lengthen tall, and close your eyes. Notice how your breath is flowing in your body. Notice how you feel. And notice the quantity and quality of the thoughts in your mind. And then see if there are any discomfort, physical discomfort. Imagine that it's possible to let it go. Imagine that it's possible to just exhale that discomfort. If you noticed a lot of thoughts in your mind and they are random, they are not about yoga at all, just tell yourself that for this hour you're going to practice yoga, so this is the practice for yourself. And so you need to be focused. And to be focused for 1 hour, you're allowing yourself not to think about anything that's not yoga. So imagine that it's possible to exhale those thoughts that shouldn't be here. Now I hope you feel a little bit more spacious from the inside. Let's Om one time. Inhale. Take a big inhale and lengthen even more. With your exhale, release the arms, open up your eyes. Great. Now go forward onto your hands and knees and step your blankets out of the way. And we'll be I'll remind you about our 3 principles first. So first one is the lengths of the sides of the body. We'll move the feet to the left. We'll move the hips to the right. And if you are leaning forward, you cannot sit, you falling out, then you grab your blanket and you place it on any height you need, maybe higher than it's originally folded, underneath your right buttock. See if that's your modification. Then open your knees so they feel just relaxed, the legs feel relaxed. Now as you inhale, lift your right arm up to the sky, turning the palm to face in. Stretch all the way from the side of your hip, all the way through the waistline, through the front side ribs, opening more space there, through the armpit, shoulder, elbow, forearm, wrist, and fingertips. Extend. As you exhale, left arm goes to the side and down on the floor, palm down. Bend your left elbow, relax your left shoulder away from the ear. With each inhale, try to elongate that right side body a little bit more to the left, actively stretching through your straight arm. And breathe into the wall of your right side body. Give it more space. As you sit here and wait, I hope that you can feel the changes are happening here now for you. Another inhale, another exhale. Now press the left hand down and inhale, come up, lifting your arms to the sky, stretch up tall. Exhale, release your arms down. Go forward onto your hands and knees. Swing your feet to the right and your hips to the left. Sit down. Again, use the blanket if you need to. Spread your knees so the legs feel comfortable. And the top foot is on the bottom leg. As you inhale, lengthen your left arm out and up to the sky, and lengthen the entire left side body, all the way from the side of the hip, through the waistline, through the side ribs, through the armpit area, shoulder, elbow, forearm, wrist, fingertips, all the way. Send your right arm to the side, inhale, exhale, side bend to your right, plant on your right palm, bend on your right elbow, and relax on the shoulder away from your ear. The left arm is straight, and with each inhale, you're stretching more and more out to the right, stretching your left side body. Breathe into the wall of your left side body. Allow it to open. Also, during the class today, I would like you to notice what's more difficult for you, which spots of your body are weaker, so that you can apply that knowledge and work more on it. Stay here for one more inhale, one more exhale. Now press the right palm down, inhale, lift your arms up, palms facing each other, stretch tall. Exhale, release your arms down by your sides. So that was our first principle, the lengths of the sides of the body. All right, then you can set your legs forward. The second principle is the foundation, is how we use our legs all the way from the toes to the hips. So Dandasana pose, staff pose. You straighten your legs in front of you, your feet are together, big toes touch together. Heels are a little bit away, like you would stand in Tadasana, you would put your heels a little bit away. Now, very often we stretch the pinky toes a little bit more forward of the big toes. So here I'm exaggerating. But then I want you to stretch the big toes forward as far, as fast as the pinkies. And remember that the floor is flat, so in order to make our legs straight, we need to keep the heels on the ground. Then, for our legs here, we lift the kneecaps, not back to the floor, but up towards the fronts of our thighs. And then we hug the outer hips in. So it's a lot of energy going on through the legs now. They are fully active. They may even shake right now. Your palms are landing down or not landing down, depending on the length of your arms. But fingertips are facing forward. Roll the shoulders back and down, free up your neck. And if you need to, bend your elbows back. Keep working with your legs, stretching forward through the balls of your feet, evenly, pinky and big toes. And then lifting your kneecaps, hugging your outer hips in. Strong legs. Stay here. Another inhale. And another exhale. Good. So that was our foundation, how to use the legs. And now the third one, you can cross the legs and go forward onto your hands and knees, or as a variation, you can swing your feet to one side and go forward onto your hands and knees. All right, and here we will do the plank pose. So the third principle for us is how we use core. And I hope you remember that it means that your belly button should energetically reach forward towards your front bottom ribs, and your front bottom ribs shouldn't be popped out, but they should be closed and inside of your body, and aim in a little bit down towards your belly button, so that like they are connected, like they are magnetizing. All right, from here, lower back is long. As long as we do the front, the lower back is long. Extend your legs behind you, one leg at a time, finding your strong plank position. To apply the core principle more here, we magnetize the floor back with the hands, forward with the toes. And you may notice that you're shaking right away here. I'm shaking, so just let yourself be here. Just experience it. Inhale, exhale, land your knees. Okay, and then tuck the toes under, sit back, and just let's connect it with our hands. Front hip points, tipping a little bit up, like the same as your belly button, tipping a little bit up and in, and your front ribs, instead of splaying opening forward, they're inside and slightly downward. Connected, feel your core, breathe in, breathe out, release. Come back onto your plank, extend your legs behind you. Magnetize your hands back, your feet forward. And then try sending your left foot a little high. Good. And then press more into your left hand and right foot. Try to stay centered, not to sway too much. And pick up your right hand, maybe on your fingertips, maybe that's your work. Maybe slide your right arm by your side. Breathe in, breathe out, step down. Okay, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog to relax. Even in downward facing dog, remember that we're still using the core it doesn't feel like we're using the core, but what we're doing here in downward facing dog is that we're not letting the front ribs open. We're not letting the back bend happen. So the belly is moving up towards your front ribs and your front ribs down towards your belly like before. Inhale, roll forward onto your plank for our second side. Magnetize the floor back with your hands, forward with your toes. Pick up the right foot, right leg. Hold it up. Come up on your left fingertips, maybe you stay here. Send your left arm by your side. Try not to open too much to the left. Try to stay parallel to the floor. Inhale. Exhale, land your hand and your foot. One more downward facing dog. Now walk forward to the middle of your mat and walk your hands to the middle of your mat. Fold forward over your legs, Uttanasana, relax your head. You can shake your head and neck. And then take your hands up on your hips. Point your elbows to the sky. Squeeze them through the shoulder blades. Press the feet down and come up to stand. Stand here in your open feet mountain pose, Namaste. Shoulders down. Press the feet down. Press the big toes especially and your heels. And also press the pinkies. And then lift your arches up towards your inner thighs, all the way up on your legs, so that you feel activation through the inner legs. Strong foundation. Hips are hugging in. The front, bottom part of your upper body is connected. Belly up, front ribs slightly in and down. So you feel your core here. Then, whatever is higher than your ribs, your chest, your shoulders, they are trying to get bigger and open up. Since we're hugging the hips, the tailbone is directed straight down. Stretch your arms by your sides, free up your armpits. Lengthen the sides of your neck evenly, looking in front of yourself, maybe with your eyes closed, if it gives you more sensations. So, if you're closing the eyes, for many people, it means that you can feel what's happening with your body more, because you're shutting down one of your ways of perception, your eyes, and so the other ways of perception, they are acting better. Namaste. Maybe you feel that you are balancing from one foot to another or from front to back, and that's your work to find that center. But maybe you feel that because you applied all of that I said before, you're pretty stable. Inhale. Exhale, open your eyes if they were closed, and then stand here in the middle of your mat, big toes together, heels slightly away. Okay, pick up the toes, spread them out, and lay them back on the floor. Pressing on your big toes, pinky toes, and the middles of the heels to lift the inner arches up, so there is a feeling of activating your inner thighs all the way to the sides of your pubic bone. Squeeze your outer hips in. Lift your kneecaps up towards the front of the legs. Okay, mountain pose. And then feel yourself very stable and very connected, lower body to upper body. And with the whole lower body, upper body, lean and look and listen. Lean a little bit to the right. So that it's not that you are releasing the hips for some reason and the hip leans to the right. You stay in with the hips hugging in, but you lean a little bit to the right. So right foot gets more weight. Lift your left knee, reach with your left hand to the inside of your leg, grab your ankle and pull your leg up. So you can be here with your tree variation, you can be below the knee, or you can have your foot on your ankle. That's your variation, your practice. All right, anywhere you are, this is a balancing pose, so it's natural to balance and it's natural to fall off from the pose. But we're trying not to, of course. So we still hugging the hips in, and see how when you really hug the hips in, how it helps you to be more stable. You can also try pressing the left foot onto your right inner thigh and pressing your right inner thigh back on that foot. Okay, the foundation is stable. The right leg is working like in Tadasana before, hips are working. Navel up towards your front ribs. Front ribs are not popping forward. Lift your arms out and up. You can go as slow as you need to. And then stretch the sides of the body up to the sky, lifting the shoulders up to the ears. Here is our first principle, the length of the sides. And then take your hands to prayer over your head if it's possible for you. Stay here strongly, breathe in. Good. And then lift your knee up. And gradually step the foot down to the floor. Reach up again, inhale. Exhale, release your arms down. Quickly look down and see that your toes are staying in one line. And if not, then adjust them. Second side. So we need to activate in mountain pose first. We press the toes down, especially the big toes and pinkies. We press the middle of each heel down. We'll lift the arches up, activating the inner thighs all the way up to the sides of the pubic bone. We squeeze the outer hips in as if there is a belt around them and it's squeezing us in. Okay, and then with that, we lean more onto your left foot. Lift your right leg up, reach through the inside, catch your right ankle. Lift your leg just as high as it was on the first side for you. Pressing the foot onto your inner leg, press the leg back to your foot. So it stabilizes our hips once again. Keep squeezing the outer hips in. Lift your navel up. Good. And reach your arms out and up to the sky. Not just staying here with arms up, there's no sense to do that, but we stretch the side body up, we extend ourselves, we grow ourselves, we grow our spine to get taller. And maybe then we connect the palms together. Keep stretching up, applying all that we already know, the foundation, the hips, the core, and the side stretch. Another inhale, exhale. Inhale, pick up your right knee up and carefully step the foot down. Try not to look down while stepping, arms by your sides, and then quickly look down and see if the toes are in one line. All right, correct them if they're not. Take your fingertips together, elbows out wide. Bend your knees, breathe in. As you breathe out, hop out. Okay, we're opening our legs to about 4 to 4.5 feet apart for warrior 2 and triangle and extended side angle poses. We'll start with right side. So make sure you have your blocks to either side. Bend your left knee a little bit, turn your left toe slightly in. Bend your right knee, turn your right toes to face forward. Return your upper body to face to the middle. Press the feet down, activate the arches up, activate your kneecaps up, squeeze the outer hips in, lift your the belly up, and have your head over your hips, stretch the arms out, breathe in. As you breathe out, keep your head over your hips as you bend your front leg. Sitting down, trying to move the right leg parallel to the floor, look forward. Okay, to remind you, keep noticing what's the hardest thing to you to do here, so that you can work with that. During this class again, you will know to work with that, to pay more attention onto that. Another inhale, exhale, inhale, lengthen your front leg, and then hug your hips in, apply the principles for the feet all the way up to hips, and take your right hand down. Find your block and place the block underneath your palm. All right, to the foundation here, we're adding the stretch of the side body, so that the bottom side is stretching forward from the hip point to the armpit. You're getting more length. And then the top side is, usually it's long enough, but we're trying to make the bottom side equal to the top. Then what else is here? We try to set the left hip point up and over in this direction, more over this line of your body. Then we're also trying to not to relax the front bottom part of your upper body. You send your navel up, you send your front ribs down, you feel connected. With that, you stretch the side body. Your arm is up, you can look up. As you're looking up, notice that you're not relaxed, not like heavy on your right arm. You're really stretching up. You're using everything on your bottom, the core, the side stretch. And when you look up, there is no tension in your eyes or the back of the neck. That tension happens when you shorten the back of the neck and when you really throw your head back or so, or you just tense in your neck for some reason. So lengthen your neck and look up. Keep squeezing the outer hips in, keep working with your legs, keep working with your core, lengthening your side. Press the feet down and inhale, come up. Okay, one more pose here. Bend your front leg. Take your hand on the block to the outside of the foot, maybe placing that block lower. Or if you're doing your mortification, then the forearm up on the front leg, palm facing up, shoulder away from your ear. Left arm goes over your ear. Stand firmly on your left foot as you keep stretching the front knee forward, so it bends over your heel more or less. I mean, not more, but less is okay, but better over. Then you're doing like in triangle, you're stretching the sides of the body, you're closing up the core, you're feeling the core, and you, with that, not relaxing your ribs as you turn, keeping the core, keeping the side body length, look up. Press the front leg onto your front arm. Try not to be really heavy on your front arm. And stretch. Feel one line from the left foot to the left fingertips. I hope that you also noticing how repeating the classes, the poses that were harder at the beginning at the first class are now little by little, but they are getting easier for you. Press the feet down, inhale, come up, straighten your front leg. Rebend your front knee a little bit so you can turn the foot in. Turn your right toes slightly more in. Bend your left knee and turn your left toes forward. Press the toes down, especially big toes and heels. Lift your arches up to your inner thighs. Squeeze your outer hips and open your arms out, look forward. Bend your front leg, Warrior II, Virabhadrasana II. Trying to set your left thigh parallel to the ground. Keep holding your front strong. Navel up. What's the most challenging part in each pose for you? Where do you feel the most? Maybe it's just generally a little bit harder to hold the poses longer, especially if you're used to vinyasa yoga classes, like I am. Another inhale. Exhale, inhale, lengthen your left leg and go down for your triangle pose. Find your block to the outside of the leg. Place your hand there. If your legs are tired, you can always bend your knees slightly, but then you have to find the activity in your legs again. Pressing the toes down, especially the big toes, lifting the arches up, lifting your kneecaps, squeezing your outer hips, sending your navel forward towards your front ribs, stretching the left side body forward, and then holding the core, holding the length of the left side. With that, turn up to the sky. Think about putting your right front hip point a little more and more over your left hip. A little more and more. As if it's also turning up to the sky. Stay here, applying the work on your legs, hips, core, lengths, and turning. And then also don't forget about the neck. How to feel better in triangle pose is to lengthen the back of the neck and to look up. When you're looking up, to relax the eyes. You can even close your eyes. Your eyes should be a little bit higher than your mouth. Press your feet down, inhale to come up. One more pose, bend your front leg. Take your left hand to the outside of the leg on the block, maybe lowering that block just a touch. Press the front leg onto your arm. Take your right arm up and over your ear. Stretch out from the back foot standing firmly through the top side, but then remind yourself about the bottom side. You also want to grow forward towards your left armpit. Even so that maybe you step your block a touch more forward. If you feel like it, of course. Then belly towards your front ribs. That hip point is doing the same thing as in triangle. And we're doing the same thing with the core, with the legs, holding it as we turn. What's the most challenging part of this pose for you? Are you noticing that you are becoming stronger, and doing these poses, holding these poses is not so extremely difficult as it was before? I hope. But you know, everything goes gradually. Practice, make it happen. All right, send your right arm back and inhale, take yourself up. Bend your left knee, turn the foot in, move your feet to parallel. Open your arms out, bend your knees, inhale, exhale, cup your feet together, or you can always heel toe your feet together. Okay, then we're going to rest here for just a bit. Big toes together, heels slightly away. Mountain pose to refine our foundation. Pressing the balls of the feet, the heels, lifting the arches, squeezing the hips, lifting your belly, descending your ribs, opening the chest and shoulders, fronts of the shoulders, opening a little space in your armpits, mountain. Just maybe close your eyes if it's okay for you, or keep them open and relaxed. Feel your breath. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Okay, look forward. And then take your fingers in, elbows out, bend your knees, inhale, exhale, hop your feet out, step your feet out. Take your hands up on your hips, point your elbows back. Make sure that your feet are in one line and the blocks are not on your way. And your feet are parallel. Point your elbows back, open through the chest, but with that opening through the chest, lift your navel up. Press the heels and big toes down, breathe in. As you breathe out, go forward to the middle position, to being parallel to the ground. When you're parallel, breathe in. Exhale, land your hands underneath your shoulders on the fingertips probably. And then let's reactivate the legs. Over here in this Prasarita Padottanasana, lie-legged forward fold, we're going to press more onto the outer edges of the feet so that the arches are able to lift a little higher. We're still pressing on the big toes. We send the navel forward towards the chest, towards the front ribs. We pull the ribs inside of us. As we stretch evenly through the sides, we stretch through the crown. Breathe in. As you breathe out, try to hold the length of the upper body, bend in your elbows, plant in your palms, and then if you can go lower, then you fold more. If you can do something else, then you slide your hands more in between your feet, maybe a little forward of your feet, but the aim is in between your feet. Elbows are pointing back, the forearms are magnetizing. Maybe you release the crown of the head down. So you stretch your legs here, you stretch your ankles, and you squeeze your outer hips in. So it's a very good pose. It's also a substitution for Vrksasana, for headstand. For those who cannot go up to the headstand for health reasons, they can do this pose. It's also upside down. The crown is still down. And by the way, if the crown is not down for you, you can take a block and place it down. As you inhale, lengthen forward onto your fingertips. Pressing the feet down. Pick up your hands on your hips at the same time. Point your elbows back. Press the feet even more to come up to stand. Open your arms out, bend your knees. As you exhale, cup your feet together. Send your arms by your sides. All right, so now we'll take our blocks to the right and just keep them there. Bend your knees, fingers together, elbows out wide, bend your knees and hop your feet out wide. Not as wide as for Warrior II and later poses, but just about half of the feet shorter, so 3.5 feet apart, more or less. Then we bend the left knee, we hop the left foot slightly forward. We bend the left knee, we turn the left toes in, heel out. We bend the left knee, we turn the toes more in until the foot goes to about 45 degrees. We bend the right knee, we go forward. We turn the pelvis forward. Okay, as we take the tailbone down, the left knee wants to bend, but what if we keep the tailbone down and straighten that left knee? Pressing the left heel on the ground. You can do the same thing with your arm as I'm doing with mine. Turning the pelvis forward and forward, trying to stay with the left knee straight. Press the toes down, lift your kneecaps up, squeeze out your outer hips and keep turning them. Reach your arms up overhead, stretch up as high as you can, look up. Connect your hands in high prayer. Apply the foundation on your legs and then the length of the sides of the body, reaching up, 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 growing your fingertips 1, 2, 3 millimeters higher. Then standing firmly on your left foot, keeping your pelvis turned forward, start bending your front leg, keep looking up, Warrior I. And then there is a constant work with your back leg, with your hips, turning and descending the tail. And then with your navel, lifting your navel up, reaching the navel up towards your fingertips. And finally, with bending your front leg, Warrior One. Virabhadrasana I. Alright, straighten your front leg. Take your hands up on your hips. And if you know that you're not going to do the reversed prayer, then your blocks are getting closer underneath your fingertips. Keep turning your pelvis forward, and we're going to land just halfway down. So send the top of your right leg back, that right hip point back, and the left front hip point forward. From here, press the left foot down, left heel especially. Go forward, go forward, go forward, until you get to like almost parallel to the ground. Stretch your arms by your sides. Your choice here, if you're placing your hands on the blocks or the ground from here, or you connecting your fingertips, lifting your fingertips up, turning your arms, and sliding your hands up in between your shoulder blades. Connect your thumbs more in if possible for your wrists if it's okay. Don't do what you don't feel like doing. Re-extend a little bit more. Notice that you don't want to shorten your right side. You want to keep it as long as the left. Stretch forward evenly through both sides, through the crown. Reach forward. And then turn a little bit more from left to right towards your right leg with that whole length of the side body. Fold over your right leg. Remember, this pose is pyramid pose, but it's in Sanskrit, it's Parsvottanasana, and it means extended through the sides. Parsvo is side, extended stretch. So we have to extend the side body here. It's not only about the legs. You feel the legs working and stretching and all, but it's also about your upper body. And then see if you can do a little better with your arms, pressing the thumbs more in, sending the elbows wider out, and lifting up the heads of your shoulders a little away, so it also helps with your chest, with your deep breath. Inhale, extend your arms back if you did the prayer, and touch your blocks if you haven't touched them before. Let's bend the knees just a little bit so they can relax, the legs can relax. And let's bend the left knee now more and hop the left foot about 2 inches forward from where the foot is. And re-land your heels down on the floor. Let's find that work again with the legs. Press the toes down, especially big ones. Press the heels down in the middle. Lift your arches up all the way, activating the inner thighs. Squeeze your outer hips in so that the left front hip point turns forward, right one goes back. Stretch forward. We're gonna frame the front foot with blocks. I'm using the medium height. You can as well use the highest height, which I was using for a long, long time. All right, squeezing the hips, working with legs. Take your right hand up on your hip, stretch through the crown, and then turn, turn, turn as much as you can from left to right. Lift your right arm up, keep using your legs and especially hips here. Try to open your chest a little wider. It's a lot about balancing here as well, so it's okay to fall off from the pose because we're learning, because we are searching it in our body how to stay more balanced. All right, and if it's okay for you, then switch the left hand to the outer block. Keep stretching through the sides, especially that bottom one. Turning more and more. Extend your arm over your ear and take your hands on the blocks. Good, and then press the feet down, picking up your blocks with you. Come up, bend your front leg and turn the foot in. All right, you can shake your legs. And then for the second side, you're just gonna place your blocks to the left, but I want you to see me forward, so I'll be just switching my my sides for the blocks. So your blocks are here. All right. So we have our legs opened. Bend your right knee, hop your right foot slightly forward. Bend your right knee, turn the foot in. Bend your right knee, turn the foot in until your foot gets to 45 degrees angle. Bend your left knee, turn your left toes forward. You have a pretty wide spread legs. Turn your pelvis forward. You can even bend your right knee a little bit, so to feel that descent of your tail. You can you can touch it with your hand. Keep turning the pelvis, and then with that, holding the pelvis this way and tailbone down. Try to straighten the back leg. Press the right heel back and down. Activate both feet, toes, heels, arches, hips forward, hips squeezing. Lift your arms overhead. Look up. Stretch the side body so high that you can connect your palms in high prayer. And then looking up. Keep using your legs and hips. Breathe in. With your breath out, start bending your left knee. Bending, sitting forward. Check if you're still working with everything. Warrior One is a very complicated pose. So many actions that are opposing, and because of that, they actually help your body to be developed better. So you can do this and that. You can stretch yourself in many directions in warrior because of Warrior One. Stretch up taller through the heart. Let your heart become bigger. Keep bending the front leg. Keep working with the back foot, hips. Inhale. Exhale, straighten the leg. Good. Take your hands. Prepare your blocks for Parsvottanasana. And we're going to take the hands on the hips, turn the pelvis forward towards the left foot, elbows pointing back. The chest is big to start. Breathe in, breathe out, start going down halfway or a little less. Send your arms by your sides if you used the prayer before, or hands on the blocks. Fingers together, fingers up. Slide your hands up. If possible, connect through the big toe, through the thumbs a little more, through the wrists a little more, but just be careful. Reach forward through the crown, stretch the right side body a lot. Send the side of your left hip back and the right hip point forward. Keep working with the legs, hips, side body. Breathe in. As you breathe out, twist more from right to left to the left leg so you can fold deeper. Be where you need to be, but remember, this is not only about the legs, it's also about the lengthening of your upper body, so try to apply it here. And also remember about your shoulders. Don't let them droop down. Lift them up, connecting more through the thumbs if possible. Squeeze your hips in. One more inhale. Exhale, elongate your arms back and touch your blocks. Bend your knees. You can pick up the heels from the ground, relaxing your legs. All right, and then hug your foot with blocks. See if the back foot stands nicely. Maybe you should take it about 2 inches more forward. So then toes down, arches up, heels down, hips in. Stretch the side body, right hand on the right block, and left hand on your hip. Taking the top of your left leg back, so the front of your right leg forward. Stretch the side body, especially the right one. Try to keep your back heel standing down. Okay, when you stretched out a lot, then start turning. Turning from right to left. Keep holding yourself with the legs pressing down, with the hips hugging in, and lift your left arm up. Balancing. Then maybe you switch the hand from right to the left block. Stay in balancing. Turning more. Squeezing the hips still. Working with the legs. Feels really nice. It helps the sciatica pains a lot. The lower back pains a lot. Okay, and extend your arm. Touch your blocks. Good job. Just step your blocks out of the way for now. And bend your knees. Sit all the way down onto your bottom. Stay somewhere in the middle of the mat. Point your toes down. Give yourself a nice hug for all that work that you've already done today. Relax your forehead down. Let your belly sink in and down. You can plant your feet. The next poses are more about core. Let's begin. Your toes pointing down. See how you can lean more back behind your tailbone, but you don't want to do that because it rounds your lower back. You also can lean forward so that it kind of straightens your lower back, but also there's a feeling of like a back bend. You don't want it. You want to stay right in the middle of your tailbone so that your lower back feels long, lengthening up, not rounded, and not pushed forward. So find that middle position. Point your toes down. Send your arms up. Both pose Navasana. Lift your legs. For variation, for modification, you can hold your thighs. You can even hold your fingers down if that's for you. That's what you need to do. But ideally, you stretch your arms forward. And ideally, your legs are straight, but it depends on our hip flexors, so maybe they're not developed yet. So the legs can be bent. That's okay. Keep stretching your back, making it stronger here. Here, breathe, breathe, breathe. Do not hold your breath, but don't breathe deeply. Just breathe normally, as if you are not noticing your breath. Good, inhale, exhale, length a little lower. Stay away from the ground. Keep breathing in the same way, not holding, but breathing. This is Ardha Navasana, half Navasana. Pick yourself up, feet down, hug yourself once again. Just switch whichever arm was on top, now is on the bottom. Relax your forehead. Round back so the belly can sink in and down. Very good. Navasana both pose and half both pose. It works on our internal organs, as you probably can remember from the previous class. Only when we are not breathing too deeply. Good. So now we're going to go down on the ground. And this pose is also about core. Extend your legs forward. It's called stretched out upward facing legs. So Prasarita Padasana. Okay, I'll remember it later. Extend your legs forward out of your body. So today I want you to apply this principle of extending your legs out of your body, as if the class before we did it, but we didn't point our attention onto extending. Today we try to extend the legs because it's in the name. Good. And then take your arms by your sides, palms are facing down, shoulders down. Try not to use your palms too much so that it's more about your legs working. Extend your legs away. You can point your toes like ballerina and lift your feet up about 30 degrees from the ground. Here we stay for about 7 not deep breaths. Keep extended, stretching your legs out of your body. Okay, and then lift your legs 30 more degrees for 60 degrees away from the ground. stretching them still out. Kneecaps are working up. Inhale. Inhale up with your legs, 90 degrees. Okay, upward facing, stretched out legs. So we stretch them out. Urdhva Prasarita Padasana, of course. Sometimes the name of the pose just goes blank. In me, of course. For me, at least. Okay, and then we bend the knees. We stretch the legs forward. Relax your legs for a bit. Now strengthen, re-lengthen your legs. Kneecaps up, pointing your toes forward and stretching the entire legs away. Inhale as you lift your legs 30 degrees from the ground. Keep stretching them out. Keep your knees straight. Breathe, feeling your core working. And just accept it in your mind that every time you do it, it becomes easier. Inhale, lift your legs a little more up. Inhale, lift your legs higher, 90 degrees, and this time you can bend the legs. Re-lengthen the legs away from you. And the third time, we're going to do it just a little bit differently. I want you to stretch the legs here away from your body and keep them stretched out as you go forward to 30 degrees away from the ground. So lowering your legs. But now, soon we're going to start lifting them up like before. Inhale, lift them up. Keep them stretching out. And lift them up. Keep them stretching out this time, straight knees. And now bend your legs. You can send your arms up. You can spread your legs a little bit and lift your legs up. Soften your elbows and knees, wrists and ankles, toes and fingers. So it's a resting pose. Good. Now take your knees up to your heart. And if it's okay for you, and it should be okay for you if you don't have any injuries to your neck or spine, then you rock forward and back. If you do have some recent injuries, then you roll over onto your side and slowly come up to sit. Otherwise, rock until you're ready to come up. And we're going to do our two final poses, the halasana and shoulder stand. So, and you know how to do them. You open your blankets this way. You align the rounded edges of your blankets with the back edge of your mat. You really flatten your blankets so there is no wrinkles on them. And one blanket on top of another. Fold it really fine. Then you grab the back edge of your mat and top it with over your blanket, leaving about 2 inches of space of the blanket. Then if you were close to the wall like I was, then you slide this setup away from the wall, and as much away only as you need to, because maybe you use the wall for your feet for halasana, for example. So then you get your block on the lowest height and place it here. Sitting down. Okay, I want you to scoot forward on your block. It's like your tailbone is caught there, so it's not here. Your lower back is not short, you're not back bended, but instead you're prepared to lay down, tailbone forward, underneath yourself. Now start laying down. Okay, and then adjust yourself. Remember that you need to be about 4 fingers away from the beginning of your shoulder skin. Lengthen your neck back of your neck by lifting up your head with your hands, lengthening the back of the neck and landing your head back down. Try not to move your head around, just listen, and there's nothing that you don't know already. So we're gonna do Halasana and we're gonna do shoulder stand. Don't look at me, just listen and just do whatever we're doing together, looking straight up to the sky. Grab a hold of your mat, pull the mat forward underneath you. Feel that helps you to lengthen the neck even more, let the head slide back even more. And then pick up your knees to your heart. Send your legs back, landing them either on the wall, on your blocks, if that's your modification, on your bolster, or straight back on the floor behind your head, Halasana plow pose. Okay, good. Now I'm going to time this pose as Halasana and shoulder stand. So we have a minute here in Halasana. Let's begin. Clasp your hands, stretch the knuckles forward, maybe they connect with your block. Elbows are trying to get straight but not over straight. Your hips, your tailbone is trying to be over your back. And you can close your eyes or stay with your eyes open. Breathe. Halasana helps a lot with the lower back problems. And it helps with the breathing problems, since it delivers a lot of blood, a lot of nutrients to the thyroid and parathyroid glands. Staying here. Notice your body always showing you where you need more space. What is your weakest spot? And noticing it. For example, if I feel my lower back, then that's where I need to breathe. That's where I need to help my body relax and open up. Good. So it was 1 minute. Now switch the clasp of your hands. Re-extend the elbows. 1 more minute. See if you're still straightening your legs, of course, if it's possible for you. If you're still working with your kneecaps. That connection of straightening your legs also helps to unlock your hamstrings muscles, so that it helps your lower back to feel more freedom. Good, and then it's been another minute. So now we need to come up to shoulder stand. Okay, for that, I'm going to time the shoulder stand as well. So take your hands underneath, on your back. Take your hands on your back. Go side to side to walk the shoulders more underneath yourself, and to place your hands as close towards your shoulder blades as possible. Then you lift one leg at a time. Today I want you to activate your legs all the way. So like if you were standing on the ground, you would lift your kneecaps. You would hug your outer hips in and imagine that your feet can press as if they can press on the ceiling, but I want you to extend your ankles and press on the ceiling with the balls of your feet that are, by the way, stretching evenly. Big toes and pinkies. Remember, like in Dandasana, in the first pose we did today for the foundation. So stay here today for 5 minutes. It's plenty of work to do here. I hope it will ease your mind to know that this is the mother of all poses. We need to perform it better every day because it helps us. It harmonizes the whole human system, you remember? It helps people who has insomnia, helps people who have breathing problems, asthma. It helps people who have nervous breakdowns, headaches. It releases even chronic headaches when it's done every day. And it really soothes our nerves. It also brings vitality to the body. You feel energized after doing this pose. Then it also, of course, helps us physically, tightens the muscles of the legs, especially when we do what we need to do with our legs. Lift the kneecaps, squeeze the outer hips in, and from that you can feel that your glutes are working as well. And then the very tops of your legs on the back are active. Today I want you to activate it. Activate the back tops of your legs just below your buttocks. Are your feet still Barbie feet? You're spreading your toes, extending through the ankles, lifting the toes up. If you notice that your buttocks is sinking back, if your hands are sliding up towards your buttocks, you want to correct yourself and do that correction just as many times as you need to. Doing this pose every day definitely makes it stronger and makes it easier. If you have a choice and you would choose to, and you have time only to do one pose, that should be Halasana and shoulder stand, that combination. And Halasana should go before shoulder stand, not after. I mean, it can be after as well, as we are doing it after, but it should be done before shoulder stand. So your body first adjusts to the chin lock, to the legs over your head, and then we stack the legs over the body for shoulder stand. Okay, keep activating the backs of the legs, stretching the kneecaps up. Keep holding yourself, lengthening your sides. So instead of sinking down into your shoulders, you are standing on your shoulders and like pushing yourself up to the ceiling. Notice if your toes changed, if you're not stretching the big toes anymore as fast as the pinkies, and re-stretch them. I'm talking because I know that you need to, for you to stay up. Okay, stay up. I'm gonna check the time. And I think it's about. Alright, so you can come down slowly, sending your legs back to your plow pose, back to Halasana. And for now in plow pose, send your arms back towards your feet, and maybe you hold the outer edges of your feet with your hands. Now send your arms by your sides, hold the edges of your mat with your hands. Push your mat forward and really slowly deliver your body vertebra by vertebra down. Remember that there is a block, don't be afraid of it. When your tailbone is landed, Then you bend your knees and just simply step your feet on the floor. I want you to pull the mat more forward under yourself so your body moves a touch back. It tractions the top of your back and pulls it down. It lengthens your lower back for sure. Now send your feet as far as your mat and bend your knees together, connect them together. You don't need to hold your mat anymore. Relax your hands, just face your palms up. Another option is to hold your own body. You can take your hands onto your belly or on your chest and stay. Breathe, allow your breath to get smoother, allowing your body to adjust. For yourself, notice where you feel the most energy. Is it your chest, your throat, maybe your legs? Good. And now, heel toe your feet together and roll over onto your side, rolling off from your block. Slowly rise up to sit. And then take your block out. For today, I recommend you using the wall for our final pose, Shavasana. But if you feel like your legs are tired of being up, if you feel a lot of energy going on in your legs now, then you do your regular Shavasana. Okay, so for the legs up the wall Shavasana, we're going to turn our set it up mat and blankets to the wall. The only thing here is we will leave about 2 inches of space between the wall and the beginning of our setup. So leave a gap of about 2 inches from the wall. You can fold your mat all the way over the blankets, not leaving the parts of the blankets empty. There is space. Now, you will take one of your hips next to the wall, so it touches the wall. And notice that when you sit to either side, you don't want to start at the middle of your mat, you want to start more up to the side. Then from here, you lift your legs up and you gradually turn towards the wall. You find your buttocks in the middle of the mat, adjust if you need to. Scoot it forward to the wall until it touches the wall and slowly lower it down. So that blanket, it opens the middle back, it belows the shoulder blades. So it's good for us now. We take the back of the head, we lengthen the neck and relay the head back down. Send your arms by your sides. So there is a little bit of a chin lock since we have our middle upper body lifted a little bit up on that blanket. See if you are comfortable here. You should not feel the stretch of the legs. You should not feel the stretch of your hamstrings. If you do feel it, then scoot your buttocks a little bit away from the wall. And ideally scoot your entire setup a little bit away from the wall, so you won't feel the hamstrings. If you don't feel the stretch and you're totally fine here, your buttocks is directed a little bit down into that gap in between the wall and your mat. And so you stay here. You open your arms out wide, so your arms are higher than your blanket. Your chest is able to open and get wider. As we have our small chin lock, it's not a lot, but we will proceed with our Ujjayi breath for 5 minutes. So again, I'm going to time that. And let's start. With your inhale, you feel your throat, you feel the breath going through the throat. You should hear your breath, the other people shouldn't. Inhale, and you imagine the sound sa. Exhale, and you imagine the sound ha. With each breath in and out, you should feel your throat, you should feel the root of your tongue and the root of your upper palate. So really close to the root of your tongue. Inhale sa, exhale ha. We are breathing through the nose, in and out. Through the nose, in and out. Sa, ha. This is Ujjayi breath. Keep breathing. If at any point you feel like your legs headed too much, being upside down, so then you just bend your knees and step your feet flat on the wall. Keep breathing. Sa, ha. Just a few more minutes. Now release the breath. Breathe in just normally. Over here, notice your body, how it changed during the class, where you feel more energy, in which parts of your body physically, where you feel more space. where you feel you've done more work. And where you feel a little bit more relaxed and spacious. Notice your head, inside of your head, your brain, and I hope you can notice your brain a little bit more relaxed. There are not so many thoughts as before, and those thoughts that may seem important for you before the class, maybe they lost their importance a little bit. And instead, maybe you gain some other interesting, important thoughts. Bend your knees, step your feet flat on the wall if they are not yet there. Choose your side and slowly roll over onto your side. Have yourself here on the side, head heavy. Start pressing your top hand down to help you come up to sit. Slowly through the rounded spine. Don't rush to lift up your head. And when you come up, you can slowly open your eyes. Pull the setup closer to the wall. Sit down on it. Cross the legs. Sit against the wall, laying your back onto the wall, letting it relax and be supported. Take your hands to pray at your heart center. Recognizing that huge work that you've done today. We'll sing one sound of Om to finish our practice. Inhale. Bow your head down. Namaste.